Good morning. The mic isn't picking me up. Is that better? Yes. Excellent. Good morning, Sister Maureen Delaney, Bishop Scharfenberger, Senator Breslin, Mayor Sheehan, Academy of the Holy Names trustees, administrators, faculty, staff, students, alumni, and friends. It is my pleasure to welcome you this morning to Holy Names to celebrate a very exciting time in the school's history. My name is Cindy Pettit, and I'm a proud graduate of Academy of the Holy Names and the mother of an alum. I'm very excited to be your host today. I'd like to invite Bishop Edward Scharfenberger, a good friend of Academy of the Holy Names, to come forward to ask for God's blessings as we launch our plans for the future of the school that we love.
You tell us it was a Catholic school because as soon as Cindy stood here, everybody became quiet. We value, of course, discipline, but it's also based upon respect for persons. And as you know, our own faith, the core faith, is all about relationship. We worship a Trinitarian God. You know, some people say, well, who is God? Well, when you think about it, it's three persons revolving around each other, crazy about each other for all eternity. And yet each different in a mysterious sort of way, yet so incredibly one. And it presents for us not only a model, because we believe we're made in the image and likeness of God, about the way we should be too, the way we respect every single person and the uniqueness that God has stamped in every person, yet every person one because of that unique image of God that each and every one of us bears. So today, as we begin our celebration, we're actually celebrating the feast of the Mary, the Holy Name of Mary, right? One of the two pillars. I think it was Don Bosco that used to envision the church not so much as a rock of Peter, but like in the image of the early fathers, the kind of a ship, the bark of Peter, with kind of two pillars on it, Mary and Jesus, you know. And you need both of them, you know. No, as Mother Teresa often said, no Mary, no Jesus, right? So the holy names of Jesus and Mary that we respect and that we honor today in our academy itself and all that we stand for. And we're going to pray to them. We're going to pray in the holy name of Jesus and Mary, dear Lord, to please bless each and every one of us. We thank you for the gift of life that you've given us. We thank you for those that have nurtured that life from the moment of conception. We thank for those who loved us throughout our lives and to where we are at this point today. We thank you for the wonderful education that we've received. We thank you for all of those many friends that we've made over the years and that continue to grow over the years. And we thank you for the bonds that unite us here today, that bring us all together again, friends, alums, and all of those who love this wonderful academy and its mission, and all of those who continue to serve here in faculty and as staff, everyone who is here today, and those that have helped us now to look forward into this future ahead of us to make our beautiful academy even more beautiful and more welcome for those that are yet to come. So we ask your blessing upon all of us, that you may inspire us with a deep sense of continued commitment, of generosity, and most of all of love, that everyone who comes among us may know the welcome and the blessing of your presence. And we ask this in the holy names of Jesus and Mary. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Bishop Scharfenberger. I'd now like to invite David Hayes, Chair of the Board of Trustees, to join us. David is entering his third year as Board Chair at Academy of the Holy Names, and we are grateful to him and the board for their loyal support of the school. Under David's leadership, the board has assured that Holy Names continues to thrive with strong academic programs, stable enrollment, and a solid financial position. Thank you, David.
Thank you very much, Cindy, and thank you everybody for attending. Thank you, Sister Maureen Delaney, for attending as well. Thank you Bishop Scharfenberger, Senator Breslin, Mayor Sheehan, and all the rest of you, and all the different constituents here from Holy Names. It is my honor as the board chair at Academy of the Holy Names to share very exciting news of our capital campaign with you today. So we've been long at work at this on the board for several years, and again, it all is coming to today, and now I've worked diligently with Mary Ann and the board over, again, the last several years, and the management team here at Holy Names to implement a plan we created 5 years ago. This strategic plan had really 4 main goals. The first was to create the first ever endowment here at Holy Names. It was a 134-year-old school, and it did not have an endowment. And there was a lot of people in that. There was a lot more legal work and a lot of other things that took quite a bit of time and effort on behalf of many people on the board. So that was our first goal. Our second goal was really attending to faculty growth and compensation here at Holy Names, and raising that to the levels that it should be at. And we continue to improve on that every year. Our third goal was really to stabilize our financial position, which we're very happy to report we have done. And we're in probably the best financial position that we've been in many, many decades. Last but not least was the creating of our master facilities plan. And it's really now time to move forward with that fourth goal that we had and put in those priorities that we put together. And it's my honor, my great honor, and I thank the board and everybody that's been involved in this to announce the Holy Names Capital Campaign, which we've named Invest, Inspire, Ignite. Capital campaign will focus on 2 main projects, the first being the reconstruction of the north classroom wing on the existing footprint that's out there now, and it will include contemporary classrooms, a new physics lab, and state-of-the-art technology and resources. The second part of the first phase of this master plan initiation is going to be safety improvements to the main entry and to refacade the building to give it a more high-tech, newer look and feel. You know, buildings that are this old, that are created such a long time ago, always need a facelift, and we certainly are going to do that here at Holy Names. The project will create a covered glass enclosed entry corridor to replace the breezeway and an enclosed courtyard. We have 2 parts of this campaign and parts of this master plan that are going to give the girls a lot more space. Those enclosed courtyards now are really not useful. But when they're enclosed, they will be, and there'll be great spaces to relax, sit with your friends, eat, etc. The safety improvements to that main entry are also going to give us uninterrupted sight lines to the parking lot, to the circular drive, and allow for better control of visitor entry and improved safety overall for the girls and staff here in the school. The master plan includes many, many other priorities. It really is a full and comprehensive look at the entire campus here. We had great help from CS Arch. Tina and Randy are here today, who we worked with for over a year now, to really take a look at the campus as a whole and how it should function in a modern day educational setting that we want to be in. So the new North Classroom Wing is going to provide faculty and students with classroom spaces that really now match our outstanding academic programs. The new entry facade, is really going to beef up security. We all know issues that come up today in the world, and we want to make sure these students have the best and most secure building that we can give them. The financial goal of the campaign of Invest, Inspire, Ignite was originally established at $2.5 million for the first phase. I'm very, very happy to report, through the help of the board and some of our tried and true and wonderful benefactors that we have at this school and in the community, that we actually have now exceeded. We've gone beyond our goal in the quiet phase, which was half of that $2.5 million, and we've achieved over $1.3 million before this announcement even comes out today. I'd like to mention a couple of those donors that participated in that and took a leap of faith with the board in really, in the very early stage of an idea like this, and without these people, we wouldn't be here today. So I want to thank all those donors, along with myself, my wife, and other leadership people here that have made this happen. I'm going to read a couple of names for you. Heather and Jeff Bennett, Rhea Clark, Chris and Christine Edwards, the Falvey and Rossetti family, Mary Conway Hanchar, Brian and Aaron Hanifin, Maureen and John Harris, Regina and Jim Legata, Alicia and Michael Lash, Bob and Ellen Lockney, Jack and Joanne Malloy, Marianne McCarthy, Joe and Marianne Mitchell, Kelly and John Murray, Dan and Sally Nolan, Lisa and Tom McNaughton, Mary Beth O'Brien, who's sitting up front here today, Cindy Pettit, Taylor Pettit, Nora Rudnitsky, I'm sorry, I mispronounced that, Patty and Bruce Rollins, Kathy and Dave Semenoff, Aaron Shea and Richard Mercado, Alex and Gina Tronco, Margaret O'Connell Willard and Barry Willard, and last but not least, Marianne Villiante, who has been the rock of this place and a wonderful supporter of it, not only with her time, energy, relentless effort here, but also her money. So now we're going to go out and we're going to invite the rest of the HN community, people that have been here for us for a long time and people that haven't, people that are going to be new to giving at Holy Names, to join as donors and help us get to our goal of $2.5 million, which I only don't want to get to, we want to exceed. And I think we're in a good position that we will exceed that goal, and it's going to be a great thing to say that come May when we start some groundbreaking. I also want to thank our campaign committee, for all their support of the campaign up to this point and all the hard work they have ahead of them. So I want to thank, first of all, our honorary chairs, Mary Beth O'Brien, and Michael and Alicia Lash. Thank you very much. And then the campaign co-chairs, Lisa Smith McNaughton and Cindy Pettit. Thank you very much, Cindy. We are really blessed to have this great group of people here, working on the Academy's behalf. And, many of them have been associated with this school and institution for decades and continue to come back and support it, which is a wonderful thing. This school, which my family and yours have benefited greatly from, has been here for 134 years. And it is really a one-of-a-kind education that our grandmothers, mothers, spouses, daughters, and granddaughters and friends have received here. These young women that graduate from Holy Names go on to make a difference in the world through the values they learn in faith, service, leadership, and the skills they develop here to go out in the world. I ask you to join me today in supporting this campaign and this institution so that we can continue to empower young women to become the future leaders in their respective chosen fields out there and professions that they go on to work in, whether it be business, science, politics, community service. We're creating a lot of those leaders here today. So thank you all very much for coming. We greatly appreciate it. It's an exciting day for the board of trustees after all the work that we put into this. And thank you everyone else that's coming, students, Mayor, Senator Breslin. Thank you all for being here. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, David. I'd now like to introduce Sister Maureen Delaney from the Province Leadership Team of the Sisters of the Holy Names of Jesus and Mary. Sister Maureen has traveled from Oregon to be here with us today, and we're delighted that she's made this journey in support of our school and its plan for the future. The province has mission centers across the United States and Ontario, Canada. Thank you for coming, Sister.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be up here with all of these important dignitaries, Bishop, Mayor, and I haven't met everybody, so I'm not exactly sure who's who yet, but I do know the Bishop, and I know David, so I'm just very happy to be here with everybody. And as was said, I'm here not only for myself, but I'm also here with Mary Breiling, who is also on our provincial leadership team. And also, I'm not only representing myself, but Mary, and also all of the Holy Name Sisters and Associates who are here today. And you want to stand up so we can all I think this is definitely a very wonderful day and a wonderful occasion for us to all be part of. And I think one of the wonderful things about this is that I know many of you know that the Holy Name Sisters, we're celebrating our 175th anniversary. Our community has been going for 175 years. And Mother Rose established our community up in the Montreal area, and she responded to the needs of the time. And the needs of her time were to educate young girls. She felt that, women need to be educated. They are the heart and soul of a family. They are the ones that need to carry on the values and educate the children as they go forth. And so we're very happy that Mother Rose responded to the needs of her time. And now here we are, September 12th, 2018, Albany, New York, and you also are responding to the needs of your time. I think David just told us exactly what the plan is going to be to update the school. And for sure, the school has been offering quality education for these past many, many years, but everything changes, right? And so we need maybe a different way to do classrooms, a different way to be able to teach things, a new physics lab, different construction of the building. And this also, it's responding to the needs of our time, because we don't want to just keep relying on what was past, but we want to be able to figure out how we can go forth into the future. And as you said, with the values, and so that all the women that graduate from here will respond to the needs of the time and be able to make a difference in our world. So we are very happy that we're responding to the needs of the time. And another thing that I think that the Holy Name Sisters, that we are so very proud of, this campaign and this whole project is not something that the sisters are spearheading, but it's you folks, it's the board, it's the administration, it's the staff, it's people saying, we believe what the Holy Name Sisters believe in, and we want to be able to make sure that it keeps going. We believe in that full development of the human person. We believe in care for the earth, care for each other, care for people that are maybe not as fortunate as we are. We believe in these things, and we believe in the mission and the ministry of the sisters. And we are taking that, and we are going to go forward. And I think that is such an inspiration to us, because we know then that hopefully that we have made a difference. If we can pass on what we believe in, our mission, our ministry, if we can pass that on, then we know things will continue. So I think we are here today to congratulate you. We are here to support you and to say anything that we can do as this campaign moves forward. We want to be with you. And maybe just to end, I might say a quote that Mother Marie Rose told us. And she said, as we tread the same path, let us extend a hand to one another to surmount the difficulties that present themselves. Because I know that when you start some kind of a project like this, it certainly is going to have maybe a few difficulties along the road. But if we can extend a hand to each other and we can help each other, then things are really going to go forward. And we are going to be, in a few years, I'm not sure when the timeline is, we are going to be back here dedicating that beautiful new building. And so, as Bishop said, today is the feast of the Holy Name of Mary, and that is a big feast for our community because we are Sisters of the Holy Names of Jesus and Mary. And I think everybody in this room is a Holy Names person. So I think we can all say to each other, happy feast day, peace and blessings as we go forward. Amen.
Thank you, Sister Maureen. We're very grateful to you and all of the sisters for their support. I'd now like to introduce Marianne Villiante, our head of school. Marianne is an alumna of Holy Names and has many years of service to the school as an English teacher, my English teacher. She wasn't hard at all. No. Assistant principal, and most recently, head of school. She's worked tirelessly to ensure Academy of the Holy Names continues to thrive and to be the best school for young women in the Capital Region. Marianne, we are extremely grateful, and continue with Holy Names.
Thank you, Cindy, for your kind words.
Sister
Maureen, thank you as well. Bishop Scharfenberger, thank you for being with us. Senator Breslin, Mayor Sheehan, et cetera, Board of Trustees, Friends of Holy Names, Sisters of the Holy Names who are here with us today. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. And happy feast day, everybody. As we've heard multiple times now, today is the feast of the Holy Name of Mary. It's a special feast day for the Sisters of the Holy Names of Jesus and Mary, who sponsor our beloved institution and who have supported the educational mission at Academy of the Holy Names here in Albany for 134 years. How providential, not coincidental, providential, that we announce this new initiative on this feast day, because the project speaks to the heart and the core of the mission of the sisters and of the school. Education as liberating action for the full development of the human person. Let's take that in again. Education as liberating action for the full development of the human person. We've been true to that mission here for well over a century, reinterpreting it for each new generation of students, as Sister Maureen pointed out, who have crossed our threshold. Lest Marie Rose de Rocher, the founders of the Sisters of the Holy Names, believed in tomorrow, but she also believed in today. She was a woman of her time, and she saw the needs of her time and courageously addressed them by liberating her students from the shackles of ignorance, poverty, and oppression. One of her favorite sayings, in addition to the one that Sister Maureen quoted before, was a powerful, passionate promise to change the world. I have come to cast fire upon the earth, and would that it were already kindled. I've come to cast fire upon the earth, and would that it were already kindled. The passion of that vow is reflected in the empowering message of our capital campaign: invest, inspire, ignite. So let's take a moment to take apart that tagline a little bit. Pardon the English teacher in me. From its etymology or its roots, invest means literally to clothe in. Education of young women clothes them with the power of knowledge and of love. From its roots, inspire means literally to breathe into. Education breathes into young women an animating, active spirit. From its roots, ignite means to set on fire. Education enkindles in students a passion to set the world on fire. It did in us when we were young too, and hopefully still does. A Holy Names education has always invested in, inspired, and ignited its students. And we certainly have ample proof of that in the amazingly talented and committed alumni who continue to exert a positive influence in every corner of the world in which they find themselves. But as always, as it moves into the future, Holy Names must be agile, as was Mother Marie Rose as well, in responding to the needs of the generation of learners, this generation of learners. And I tell you, it's a generation far different from any other, and far different from ours. Those of us who are adults in them. There's a revolution happening in education today. And moving confidently into the future presupposes that a school understand and embrace the vast changes in education that are on our doorstep. This revolution in education, fueled by technology and also by the needs of the 21st century workplace, calls all previous assumptions about what's worth knowing into question. Why should a student memorize or hold a piece of information in her head when she can Google it and have it at her fingertips, as we all do? We know that there are still certainly some things that students need to be fluent in, that need to be carried up here. But there's a whole lot that schools have in their curriculums that does not need to be held in a young person's head. This amazing mechanism, this thing we call our intellect, this God-given gift, was meant for far more than memorization. Humans are problem solvers, dynamic users of knowledge, rather than static repositories of knowledge. The complex problems of this century require for their solution all of the problem-solving skills that we can muster. And so this new vision for education that we're speaking of today puts an active learner in an interactive, resource-rich learning environment where she's presented with an authentic problem to solve. Authentic, not 2 geese plus 3 geese equals 5 geese, or what does it equal, right? She'll be presented with that authentic problem to solve, and she'll learn to ask the questions that will empower her to discover one or many workable solutions. What an exciting time this is to be a student, a young woman at Academy of the Holy Names. Right. Yes. In keeping with the school's commitment to the full development of the human person and leadership for women, our students here will enjoy academic and extracurricular programs that are customized for them, the active learners, so that they can become the best version of themselves, young women confident of their abilities to lead by discovering solutions that will impact the world. I believe that. They will be flexible thinkers, invaluable not only to the 21st century workforce, but honestly to any endeavor that excites their passion. In order to bring to life this dream of a new model for education that will provide its students with an outstanding, future-focused educational experience, AHN needs the resources, both human and financial, and the facilities to make it real. This new generation of students can't be educated in the same rooms that we all were 100 years ago. Not so much. You understand my meaning. And so our Invest, Inspire, Ignite campaign will do just that, bring us the resources that we need. So the reconstruction of the North Classroom wing that David spoke of, and the safety and aesthetic improvements to the entrance and facade will be the beginning of a multi-phase project to provide our students, these young women who are in front of us and in the back too, who are our pride and our joy, will be the beginning of a multi-phase project to provide our students with updated facilities that reflect our vision for education. In his groundbreaking book, Blueprint for Tomorrow, Redesigning Schools for Student-Centered Learning, Prakash Nair establishes 4 principles of design for schools. They need to be welcoming. What more could be in the tradition of the Holy Names? They need to be versatile. They need support various learning activities, small group, large group, project-based, lecture, and send positive messages about activity and behavior. Positive messages, positive for these young women. These new spaces at Holy Names will enable students to use multiple areas for individual study and team collaboration. Technology integration will allow students unfettered access to the wireless network for class projects and internet research. Well-designed spaces will facilitate teacher collaboration as well, and unobstructed views of the outdoors and access to enclosed courtyards will give students the opportunity for connecting with the outdoors and with nature. Together, I know we can make this vision a reality. I know we can. My heart is filled with gratitude to those who have already so generously supported this campaign with their leadership gifts, and they were noted by David in his remarks. And I'm grateful for the really tireless work of Nora Ratinsky, our Director of Institutional Advancement, in so ably shepherding these gifts and, of course, preparing this event as well. Our hands are committed to the work that still needs to be done. In a reflection at a school day prayer service a while ago, our campus minister made the point that the kindnesses and acts of generosity from the people that we meet leave footprints on our hearts. I thought about that often in the days since that prayer service. I believe that my heart bears the impression of so many Holy Names footprints, placed there over the decades, reminding me of the goodness and the generosity extended to me and to our school by students, teachers, families, and benefactors through God's grace and blessing. One would expect one's heart to be very heavy indeed with so many footprints on it over so many years. On the contrary, and probably paradoxically, my heart's full, not heavy, full of memories of each graduate, each family, each teacher that I have known, full of gratitude for each one, and honestly full of passion to carry that legacy forward and to be true to it. So I invite all of you to join me in this effort on behalf of our students, those we have with us now, and those in the generations to come. Let's leave our footprints on their hearts. Thank you.
Well, how do you follow that? Oh, okay. Thank you, Mary Ann, for your inspiring words and your leadership. What an exciting time this is for all of us. I'd now like to invite Senator Neil Breslin to join us. Senator Breslin serves as the New York State Senator representing the 44th District, which consists of part of Albany and Rensselaer counties. Senator Breslin has been an active community leader for many years, including more than 20 years as a board member and then board president of Arbor House, a resident facility for women in need. Senator Breslin is a lifelong resident of Albany. His mother, Mary, was a 1925 graduate of Academy of the Holy Names, and his wife, Ellen, is also a proud alumna of Holy Names. We are grateful that Senator Breslin is with us today to celebrate this milestone for a school that his family has supported for many years. Senator Breslin.
You know, the Bishop and Mayor Sheehan, and myself and others, we generally speak someplace every day. And coming here, I'm more nervous than I've been in years. And it's because I have so many friends in the audience, acquaintances in the audience, and it has such a rich meaning to me, the Academy of the Holy Names. I was mentioning to the Bishop that I have a very difficult time asking anyone for contributions to a political campaign, because my mother used to say, if you ask somebody for money, they'll ask you for something in return that's morally unacceptable. And I used to drive her out here, where she would get on the phone begging for money for the Academy of the Holy Names. So it's appropriate. My mother's name was Mary, and it's the Feast of Mary. And in addition to be receiving such a wonderful education, I think what permeates this crowd and permeates the Academy for the Holy Names is the fact that you'll be learning so much more. You'll be learning that give back, as Sister Maureen said. And I know my mother, who passed away at 97, spent the last 35 years of her life every weekday volunteering someplace. And I think for her it came automatically, but it came in part from her education at the Academy of the Holy Names. And so with such a rich tradition and such a full, total education, it's appropriate that we give the Academy of the Holy Names a little bit of an uplift. In fact, this morning I asked my wife if she'd like to join me here. I didn't realize they'd be mentioning her in the thing. And she's volunteering at Unity House in Troy today, so that came first. So remember, your education is beyond what you learn in those books. It's beyond really what the improvements will be to the Academy, and they're so rich. It's the value of what you receive and your ability to give back to the community. I'm talking to people who already know everything I've said. I'm really talking to the young students who were so gracious and making sure I found my way into the building. And I'm delighted to be here with the Bishop, my dear friend the Mayor, Mayor Sheehan, with David Hayes, and all the other dignitaries behind me. So carry on that rich tradition. I'm sure I'll be getting a phone call about some of the improvements that are being made, and hopefully it'll be in my government office, not in my home. So thank you for having me here. I've gotten through this speech, as difficult as it was. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Next, I'd like to invite Mayor Kathy Sheehan to come forward. In 2014, Kathy Sheehan became Albany's 75th mayor and is now serving her second term. Mayor Sheehan has dedicated her administration to unleashing Albany's full potential, leading with a commitment to community, equity, and opportunity. She is an energetic champion of the renaissance now underway in Albany and is working to revitalize the city's neighborhoods. We are honored that you joined us today. Mayor Sheehan.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on this project, on your vision, on the optimism that it demonstrates, and on the commitment that it shows to making sure that there is access to excellent education, excellence in instruction here in the city of Albany. And I'm joined, as you know, by so many distinguished people who are here to speak, and I am not an alum, and I do not have a child who went here. I had one boy who I often used to say, would have been nice to have that girl. But I think that one of the reasons that I really wanted to come here and speak to you today is that I don't think it's very often that we as elected officials have the opportunity to thank an institution for what it has contributed to our community. And I look out among leaders in this community who were nurtured here and fed here and have gone on to take on leadership roles in our community, volunteer for various community-based organizations that are doing amazing work. And that happened because of the vision 134 years ago to create this institution and to recognize that educating an individual, particularly educating a girl, is educating the entire person. And it's more than just math and science, but it is math and science. It is also creating those citizens for a community who are going to be part of a community and who are going to see themselves as having a role to play in making sure that that community is a place that, as I fight so passionately for, is equitable, that is a place of opportunity for everyone, and that is a community that we can all be proud of. And so on behalf of the City of Albany, I want to thank this institution. I want to thank the young women who are investing in themselves, the teachers, the administrators, and everybody who's going to make this possible, because we are a better place because of this academy and because of the work that you do. So on behalf of a grateful city, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. I see that Assemblywoman Patricia Fahey has joined us this morning. Thank you for coming. Would you like to come up and say a few words?
They've covered it all. Thank you.
There's not much left to say. Thank you. It's now my honor to welcome Mary Beth O'Brien, honorary co-chair for this campaign, to join us to say a few words. Mary Beth and her family have been an integral part of Academy of the Holy Names community. Her sister, Constance Casey, was a 1959 graduate of Holy Names and later became a sister of the Holy Names of Jesus and Mary. Sister Connie served as the principal of Holy Names from 1977 through 1990, and as the first campus president from 1990 through 2009. Mary Beth and her late husband, Frank O'Brien, sent their 5 daughters to Academy of the Holy Names. We are grateful to Mary Beth and her family for their loyal support over so many decades. Mary Beth.
Well, in front of all these beautiful dignitaries that are here today, Bishop Scharfenberger, our mayor, our senator, and all our wonderful Sisters of the Holy Names. Also the faculty and students, Marianne Villante, who has been so loyal, and so it's hard to speak after all of those wonderful talks, but I do have a few words. And I am here today because I care about the legacy of the Sisters of the Holy Names, their mission, and the mission of the Academy. The Academy continues to empower students to be authentic individuals who engage in independent thought, are inspired by creativity, and lead culturally aware, spiritually rich lives. I also want to say that AHN has benefited immeasurably from the perseverance and leadership of Marianne Villante. Her good judgment, her tireless work ethic, and above all, her dedication to AHN, its mission, and its students. It is her vocation. 1 minute ago, 40 years ago, 1 minute ago, I'm going to reminisce a little bit. Living across the street from Holy Names, and that's why we moved there, because we have 5 daughters. I did come across Holy Names almost every day for 48 years, and I would reminisce, thinking of all the entertaining, hilarious, and spiritual moments our girls have enjoyed on this campus. Sometimes I would drive onto the campus and wander around, and if you wander around long enough with your reasoning software disabled, you might get plugged back thrillingly through time and find yourself grinning as you watch your small daughter do soccer drills in the mud, or another exuberant daughter leaping from Utah to Ohio on the huge hand-painted map of the United States down on the driveway. Or your shy daughter holding your hand as you walk through the doors for her first day at kindergarten. And 1,000 moments like that, all floating in the misted air on these fields of dreams here at AHN. I saw and felt and heard all these things as real and powerful and immediate and tender as the instant they happened 1 minute ago, 40 years ago, 1 minute ago. And I wanted to weep and laugh at the same time. I also think of my dear sister, Sister Connie, who graced this campus with her affections and talents for many decades until her matriculation on a soft March evening to another campus in which the curriculum is peace eternal and joy unending. AHN matters in mysterious ways. There is no place like it. That some old combination of passion, poetry, and vigor and vision opens miraculous doors in the students, doors through which their extraordinary gifts come pouring out, and oceans of complicated grace pours in, doors that perhaps never would have opened without their years at Holy Names. The Academy has worked hard for decades to inculcate in students a set of values to make the world a better place. The motto of Holy Names, esse quam videre, to be rather than to seem, is all about people of character, what AHN has been teaching for years. So together, let us continue to keep going and growing each other to continue to send out new agents of hope from this campus. For hope is the food of this nation and is the great song of every human being. And I'll just end with a little Margaret Mead quote. I do not want to be sitting on the sidelines at this time in the history of holy names. We are all here with something to contribute, and I would feel frustrated if I wasn't in the game. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. It's the only thing that can. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Beth. I'm now very honored to introduce a fellow Holy Names alumna, Alicia Lash. Alicia is a 1989 graduate of Holy Names and served 9 years as a trustee of the school, serving as board treasurer during her final term. Alicia and her husband, Michael, have a long-standing relationship with Holy Names. Through both sides of their families, multiple generations of Holy Names alumna. Their daughter is also a current student at Holy Names. Mike and Alicia are serving as honorary co-chairs for our campaign. Alicia?
Thank you, Cindy. And Mary Beth, you're always a tough act to follow. In fact, all of you are. So good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for your time here this morning. As Cindy mentioned, I am a graduate of the 1989 class, and my husband and I, Michael, are delighted to be working alongside Mary Beth on this as honorary co-chairs of this most important campaign. And I love the tagline of invest, inspire, and ignite. And for us, it was easy to say yes to this initiative because our ties to Holy Names run deep, as Cindy mentioned. And for Mike, it began with his mother, who was a 1951 graduate, and since that time, he had a sister go through here, 2 cousins, 6 nieces, and as well as another sister who worked here back in the day. And today, as Cindy had mentioned, that we are parents of an 8th grader, Alexandra, who is starting her 3rd year here. My own path to Holy Names started when my family moved back to this area when I was 10. So I started in 5th grade and I went all the way through. I absolutely loved my 8 years here and found many lifelong friends. There's no question that I was academically prepared for the next step in my journey. And I'm so happy that you ladies are here because I think that perhaps more significant was the school's nurturing environment, which helped build my confidence and not only encouraged, but expected me to voice my opinion. During my most formative years, every leadership role I saw was filled by a female. And it was only in hindsight that I realized what a truly unique experience it was and how lucky I am to have been afforded this education. And in fact, I'm even more amazed that when I think that it's only been in recent times that the importance of women's education has come to the forefront, and to think that Holy Names has been doing this now for over 130 years. Since their doors first opened back in 1884, the school has maintained its singular goal of empowering and educating young women. But we know here, as part of the Holy Names community, that it doesn't just stop there. They take a holistic approach, focusing on one's character and emphasizing the importance of making a difference in this world. About 10 years ago, I had an opportunity to be a part of the school again, this time as a board member. I was constantly impressed by the dedication of my fellow trustees and their commitment to the future well-being of the school. My involvement also allowed me to see how incredibly hard the administration and faculty work day in and day out for the benefit of the students. We are able to stand here today at this exciting juncture because of the entire team's collective effort. So again, my thanks to Mary Ann and my thanks to David for leading this effort. And like everyone else here today, Mike and I strongly believe in the mission of the school and the impact it will continue to make on future students. This campaign to help Holy Names modernize its campus will help move the school forward, remain competitive, and continue to inspire tomorrow's leaders. So I thank you for your time this morning. And as an alum, a former trustee, and now a current parent, I thank you for your support of the Academy of the Holy Names.
Thank you, Alicia. I'm very happy now to introduce Kathleen Harris and Adele Decker, two current seniors at Academy of the Holy Names and co-presidents of the Student Council, to speak on behalf of the chief beneficiaries of this project, our ladies, our students, and to let us know what this project means to the students of Holy Names.
Good morning, Sister Maureen Delaney, Bishop Scharfenberger, Senator Breslin, Mayor Sheehan, Ms. Villante, Mr. Hayes, trustees, and friends of Academy of the Holy Names. My name is Kathleen Harris, and beside me is Adele Decker, and we are this year's co-presidents of Student Council. We both just started our senior year at Holy Names, and it has been wonderful to hear about the exciting plans for our school this morning. On behalf of the entire student body at Holy Names, we want to thank you for your support of this campaign and for investing in us. We are extremely grateful to those who have already made a contribution to this campaign, and we greatly appreciate the donors who will help to reach the $2.5 million goal to make these projects a reality. The improvements to the North Classroom Wing and entryway to Holy Names will impact the lives of young women that will walk through these friendly doors at Holy Names for generations to come. By investing in this campaign, you are investing in us, young women who learn to become confident leaders, moral decision makers, active members of a faith community, crafters of peace, and builders of a better world. These lessons and values that Kathleen just discussed are taught to us at Academy of the Holy Names, a school that invests in its students, inspires us to be the best version of ourselves, and to set our sights high, and ignites us to make an impact on this world. Surrounding us are the renderings for the plans you just heard about for the North Classroom Wing and entryway of Holy Names. We ask you to come forward at the end of the program to see the renderings. On behalf of the entire student body at Holy Names and generations of young women to come, we thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you all for joining us celebrating this morning. I'd just like to take 1 second to recognize the rest of our Capital Campaign Committee, many of whom are joining us today. Lori Wood Cashman, Brian Hannafin, Marianne Colante McCarthy, Joe Mitchell, Kelly Healy Murray, and Patty Yanis Rollins. We have a lot of work ahead of us. It's truly an exciting time at Academy of the Holy Names, and we appreciate your support as we launch our Invest, Inspire, and Ignite Capital Campaign. Please join us for refreshments and to view the renderings, and I have to say, in Marianne Villante fashion, we are closing on time. Thank you all for joining us.